Hello everyone, and welcome to the podcast of Pragmatic Psychology and the adventures of its practitioners. Welcome, Ingrid.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation, Brenda.
Thank you for accepting. Okay, so I will just translate shortly also in Italian. We will do both English and Italian. So, benvenuti a tutti a questo podcast di psicologia pragmatica e le avventure dei suoi praticanti. Oggi con noi abbiamo Ingrid. Benvenuta Ingrid. Okay, I am so super excited. I got the awareness of doing this podcast after translating Susanna, basically the creator, Susanna Mittermaier, the creator of Pragmatic Psychology. And there was this energy like, create this podcast so that it can be available, like the knowledge and the fact that there is a pragmatic psychology and the classes to more and more people all over the world and in Italy also. Quindi ho creato questo podcast perché c'è stata l'energia, dopo aver tradotto Susanna, di fare un podcast per far sì che gli strumenti di psicologia pragmatica creata da Susanna Mittermaier fossero disponibili a più e più persone, che fossero conosciuti. So Ingrid, could you please tell a little bit about you? I mean, you are an official pragmatic practitioner, but also a CF, and like, if you can just introduce yourself a little bit, please, I would be so happy.
Well, basically, you've said it, haven't you? I am a CF. I am a pragmatic practitioner, and yeah, it's just two of the things that I totally love playing with. So yeah, and also maybe that's some insight as well. I work with Susanna, so yeah, I get to enjoy a lot of pragmatic psychology.
Oh my God, this is so amazing. Okay, so in Italian, Ingrid è una CF, è anche praticante pragmatica ufficiale e lavora a stretto contatto con Susanna Mittermaier e parte del suo team, quindi ha la fortuna di fare un bel po' di classi di praticante pragmatico e tutte le sue classi. Ok, so Ingrid, I would love for you to tell us a little bit about your adventure. How did you start doing pragmatic psychology, and how did it go for you with the pragmatic practitioner tools? How was it for you, for yourself, for your clients? I don't know if you have anything fun to tell us about
Do you want to translate that into Italian first?
Yeah. Ok, quindi ho chiesto a Ingrid se ci vuole raccontare un po' della sua avventura con gli strumenti di psicologia pragmatica, con le classi, come è iniziato e se ha qualche cosa di divertente da condividere con noi. Ok.
Right. So, pragmatic psychology. My first class with Susanna, I hosted her, and she came to the Netherlands, and which was basically, it was a class that blew my mind. So I was a fan.
Wow.
And a couple of years later, Susanna asked me if I wanted to start working with her, to start creating with her. And I was like, oh yeah, sure, absolutely. And so that's basically when the deep dive into pragmatic psychology started. So I'll leave you to translate.
Ok, Ingrid ha iniziato con la psicologia pragmatica quando aveva invitato Susanna Mittermaier a fare una classe di psicologia pragmatica in Olanda. E un paio di anni dopo Susanna le ha chiesto di lavorare insieme, quindi è così che è iniziata la sua avventura con tutto questo.
Okay. Yeah, so then when I started creating with Susanna, I also joined the Pragmatic Psychology 3-day classes, and both as a translator and as a participant. And yeah, basically that just opens up worlds.
Yeah.
It's a totally new paradigm.
Yes, yes, it is.
So
Eh,
yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
dice che davvero tutti questi strumenti di psicologia pragmatica le hanno praticamente esploso la testa, le hanno completamente, l'hanno portata in un altro mondo e sfidano proprio tutto ciò che ci è stato insegnato, il paradigma che ci è stato insegnato fino ad ora.
Yeah, so for me, um one of the main things with this is that it's a way of looking at what can people do, and not what are your limitations, what are your problems. It's looking at what can you do, where are your possibilities,
Yeah.
where what is fun for you, what is in your what's something that you can do. It's not focusing on what you cannot do or what is limiting you. It's looking at the other things, and
Yeah.
that just changes your whole perspective, your whole point of view.
Yeah, dice che tutti questi strumenti meravigliosi di psicologia pragmatica cambiano completamente tutto perché è un modo di guardare le cose non dal problema, non dai problemi, ma dalle possibilità. Quindi non cosa c'è di sbagliato, qual è la limitazione, ma cosa posso creare io, cos'altro è possibile davvero. Quindi trasformare tutto da un'altra prospettiva.
And looking at things from a perspective of possibilities, it's basically looking into the future instead of looking back and analyzing everything that's gone wrong and that didn't work. It's looking into the future and seeing like, okay, so where do I want to go? What are my capabilities? Where do I need someone to assist me? But it's always looking into the future and creating with that.
Yeah. Okay. So as this is all new, Ingrid, the thing is we're changing. We are just gonna talk in English, and I will be translating afterwards.
Right.
Yeah. So this is more cool. It's gonna be more in the flow. Yes. Let's
Mhm.
do that.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, basically, there's a couple of things in there for me for pragmatic psychology, and one of them is what I said, like looking at what can you do, not looking at your limitations, not looking at your label. You've got OCD, you're depressed, you're this, you're that. Look at what can you do, what is true for you, looking at what people know themselves. So not telling them you should be doing this, or not going like, oh, you've got OCD, so if you follow this sheet, then everything will be fine.
Yeah.
It is looking at, okay, so what do you know as the person that I am talking to? What does this person know? And give that the value and ask them questions about that, and get them to get clarity on what they themselves know without telling them like, oh, don't you sort of feel a little bit like this? That's the normal psychology way, asking about your feelings. This pragmatic psychology is getting the other person to talk,
Yeah.
which is different in an interview, but
Yeah, yeah. I mean, let's just go with the flow. That's so perfect. I uh, I am really fascinated by the pragmatic psychology classes. I mean, as for you, for they like totally change everything. I am choosing to change because these classes are such an invitation to change paradigm, to see things through different lenses, and to really, oh gosh, I have goosebumps. I'm just, these classes have really allowed me to really get that I am the source for change. But these classes, oh my God, they accelerate everything. Like everything is so beyond words. And also like, for my personal life to facilitate me and then the others. So, yeah. I'm so grateful.
Yes, it's. I mean, there's so many things in there. It's about facilitation. So it's and it's also. I mean, and that's something that I want to say rather in the beginning. For me, looking at what the average conventional psychologist offers to their patients, that doesn't work for me. I mean, it doesn't work for me. That doesn't mean that it doesn't work for you. And maybe you've got, a good one. Maybe you've got one that works for you. But for me, I would go, no, that's doesn't help me and doesn't get me any further. So for me, I've always thought there has to be something that's different. And when I looked at the pragmatic psychology, I said that's the direction I would want to take it. If I were a psychologist, which I'm not. But it doesn't mean that you do not deal with psychological things, psychological ways of looking at things from society, because how you deal with people can always be called psychology.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
true.
and so that's one thing. I always thought, okay, there has to be something else. There has to be something that actually works, and that's also what pragmatic psychology stands for. Pragmatic is doing what works, and then the classes are also, I mean, it's enormous insight depending on who's taken the class, because if there's someone in there who wants to know everything about autism because, for example, they have a kid who is autistic, or they are a teacher who have autistic kids in school, so then the focus goes more towards how do you work with that? How do you facilitate with that? What do you do with kids who have this? But it's not just the psychological labels that we're talking about. It is so much about facilitation, about making things easy, making things easier. And just this weekend was another moment where I realized, if you facilitate, you can, or let's put it different. If you talk to a person, you can really go like, yes, this. And if you really look close at that, do you get this feeling? This is not kind. This is not nice. You feel like, what's this person doing? And when Susanna's facilitating, she knows when to ask a question that is where she asks you, the person, and she knows when to ask the question for the whole group. So by asking the whole question for everyone who is in the group, you are spreading your focus. You're not laser beaming on this one person, but you're making it soft, and you are showing them, hey, you're not the only one, not with words, but with the way she asks the question. That was just something that just really jumped out for me as in a facilitation method that I noticed with her, where I thought like, oh, that is so nice, so much more relaxing if somebody does that. So then the question is, okay, where can I add that into my facilitation? How often do I think about this, and do I do that? And where am I still doing this? Like, and also, keep it in mind. Sometimes this is sort of a bit intimidating, and sometimes you actually want that, because sometimes you're talking to someone and you're not facilitating them, but you're dealing in a situation and you want that. But then it becomes the choice. Which tool am I going to use? What behavior am I going to use to get what what I desire in this situation,
Yeah.
which is different.
Yeah, exactly. It's so different. Like pragmatic is, as you said, is doing what works. So in every situation, there might be different energies required for that situation to change or to get to create greater, right? So your willingness to use whatever energy is required, that's doing pragmatic.
Yeah.
And yeah, I am really I don't know how to say that, but there's this energy like very nurturing when Susanna facilitates these classes, and also showing you showing you your power and potency, showing you your uniqueness in facilitation. And it's all about not making you wrong and not making you right either. It's just about empowering you to be you, and to don't be scared that, oh my god, I'm gonna fuck this up. Yeah, you have to be willing to fuck it up as well, in order for you to facilitate change. And yeah, for example, for me, since I did the classes with Susanna, my facilitation with people changed a lot. I mean, with me, but also with other people. So this is, I would love for so many people to be able to get to know these tools. It is, for me, it is like a school for facilitators. It's just so empowering. It's so beautiful.
And it's a school for facilitators. Basically, everyone's a facilitator.
Yes.
Because if you have a life, if even if you just have a neighbor, you are facilitating. You are talking to your neighbor. There are situations, and everybody has these situations where initially you just go like, what do I do with this? How do I handle that?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's the well-known mother-in-law, it's your boss, it's one of your employees, it can be a kid too, it can be a partner, it can be anyone.
Yeah.
And if you're a hairdresser or a teacher or a parent, or if you're a person, you're facilitating. You come
Exactly.
into situations where you go like, okay, so what am I going to do with this? And basically the tools that you get, it's for me, it's like you take a foundation class, because for the 3-day Pragmatic Practitioner class, you need to have a foundation class. And you have all the tools in there. And basically, I remember the first time I did a foundation class, I came home and I had no words. And my partner said, "How was it?" And I could just go like, just do like a goldfish imitation, if you like. Getting air, but that's it. I had no words. And so many of the things that I heard there and learned there were like, I already know this, but I never had the words to it. I never knew that other people also had this. So that was the first step. And then taking it to pragmatic psychology, it just shows you so many possibilities of how to use these tools, how to use them in the facilitation, how to use them for yourself. The moments where you are contracting and making things difficult for yourself, realizing that, okay, oh, hold on, what am I doing here? If I expand, if I relax, what do I see when I'm relaxed? What opens up for me? What possibilities are there, that because I'm just focusing on this and being cramped, I'm just seeing this. But if I sit back and just go like, okay, so what else? I open up the whole perspective. I open up this whole area of possibilities that I wasn't seeing before. And that's the things you learn, and you get to practice as well. And that is also something that is really nice. So one of the things that we do in the 3-day Pragmatic Practitioner classes is practicing. and I mean, you've been there, you've done it. We match people up according to energy and language as well. And sometimes language is a bit of a larger thing. But you get this chance to sit together and somebody's asking you a question and you just go like, okay, so what would I say here? And the interesting thing is that usually when people come back from these sessions, you can see their faces go like, I did it, I can do this. And they are usually so grateful for what the other person said to them, even though the other person may think they've totally screwed it up. They didn't, because you are just showing people another point of view, and you are just shy. Basically, what consciousness is just turning on the lights. It's no more than that, really. You turn on the lights and you see what is, and when you see what is, you still perceive things from one side and you can look at it from multiple sides, but there's always some parts missing. But the more you know, the better you can judge the situation, and the better you can handle the situation if it needs to be handled, or create with it if that's what the option is. So, but tell me about it. You did the facilitation yourself. What did you think?
Yes, I love it, as you also said before. It's not just for facilitators. Like, this class is for everyone, really. And this is what I loved about it, because you can really get the awareness, like deep in every single molecule of yourself, of how these tools are just, you can apply them and have ease in every aspect of your life, in any kind of situation. Maybe then you can forget sometimes, okay, it's not wrong, but when you will be bored of going to the trauma and drama, then okay, wait 1 second, I have all of these tools that can create so much more ease in my life. What can I do? And there's also the manual. You can open up the Pragmatic Practitioner manual, and then, okay, what is required here? What can bring me ease? I mean, you are the source for change, but these tools can really bring you so much ease. And the more you use them, the more you become them, and you don't have to cognitively think, okay, what do I have to use here? So yeah, this class has been such a contribution for me to really take me out of the paradigm of also pain. Like, this reality makes pain so much significant. Like, it is a thing, right? Pain. It is normal to have pain. Everyone has pain. Everyone has stress. Everyone is blah, blah, blah. And I cannot really explain in words how much it's changed at a cellular level, I would say, like the way I work, the way I function, basically, the way I function. So yeah, now it's so much easier to go, okay, wait a second. If this wasn't called pain, what would it really be? What is this that I'm calling pain? Because I'm so used to call it pain, it's amazing, awesome. Like, it's as if you were really aware that you are in a matrix. Like, you're in a matrix where everything is a game, like you playing there, you playing a role, okay, and this thing shows up, okay, what can I do with it? Like, how can I shift this and change this, or what else is possible? Like, yeah, it's really, these classes are awesome. And it just came up, this energy of doing this podcast, to talk about like the magic that these classes are for people, what they can really bring to people.
And I mean, there are also podcasts with Susanna and blogs. And so if you want to know a bit more about it, there are books written by Susanna that you can try. So that's probably one of the easiest ways of getting in. The classes are not like the books. I mean, obviously there are many things from the books that are in the class, but not. It's definitely, the class doesn't follow the book and it doesn't follow the manual. There's a manual that you get with the class, and there's the books. I don't have the. I just had the second, or sort of the second Pragmatic Psychology book, which Susanna wrote together with Gary, and the books are so easy to read, with so many examples. So it's one of these things where playing with it and creating with it just is a joy.
Yeah, it is. And for who didn't read the books, like, read them, they are really amazing. And as for the class, it is like Susanna doesn't follow the manual, it follows the energy and the request of the people. Every class is so unique, and it is based on the request that people have in there. So it is such a an expansive energy. So wait a second, they ask me for the translation. La traduzione, sì, farò la traduzione dopo che finiamo questo podcast e ve la invierò, quindi troverete la registrazione con la traduzione anche. È stata molto improvvisata, e il fatto che siamo passati all'essere al parlare solo in inglese, stiamo seguendo il flusso, quindi yeah, the flow was just to be in the flow. And so this is it, you know.
Exactly. And if people want to take the class and if they require translation, we have the wonderful Brenda translating.
Yay, into Italian, yay! Yeah, we have a class coming up in it. Well, we have a class in El Lugar first, well, at the end of the month. And anyways, in the follow-up email, I will send also the links with all of the information if people would love to do the class in El Lugar. Or we also have a class coming up in Italy, in Florence. Oh God.
Exactly.
I am so excited for this class, and this is like, just when you are in question, things show up, and there was this request of, as if it was an entity by its own, like this podcast, like, create this podcast, allow people to get in touch more and more with the energy that these classes are, that the contribution they can be. So Ingrid, also, can you please tell us if there's anything that comes to your awareness right now, like a funny episode or something, or some magic and miracles that showed up with you using the pragmatic psychology tools?
Miracles. I'm looking for a miracle. I shouldn't be doing that. There's one thing that really jumps to mind, and that's basically got to do with fun. I mean, okay. Susanna is a psychologist. Normal psychologists have little classes on ours, very serious, and they cannot laugh. And I'm joking about this, but there is a tendency that doctors have this desire to be serious because you come there with your problems. They don't want you to think that they're laughing at you. Now, when you work with Susanna, she's not laughing at you, but she will have fun, and she will have fun in all kinds of ways possible. And one of the things I remembered is I was once on an airport, and I had a 4 or 5 hour waiting for my next flight. And so I thought, okay, you know what? I'm just going to treat myself and I'm going to get my feet rubbed. And so that's nice to, if you're going to hop on a long flight, um, it's just a treat. So I pay the money and they take me to, this was in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and they take me to this, to the back behind the, where the till was. And there's like 3 lounge chairs there, and 2 of them are taken. One is free, and that's my seat. And it just looks like the 2 people on the other seats were also getting their feet massaged, and it was the same massage everyone was getting. And it was just so funny because at some stage, these people doing the massage take your legs and just put them up in the air, like quickly. And in my head, I was like, if you're wearing a short skirt, you cannot do this. And then I thought, well, who am I being here? And that was my mum. and and then I thought, and what would Susanna do? Because she's always having fun. And I just realized that she would just simply just laugh and just have total fun with it. And it was so clear to me at that moment that you actually have a choice in what you're going to do in the situation. And so for me, that was one of these moments where it was just, okay, I can choose fun and I can choose like, you cannot do this. And I thought fun was way more appropriate.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's just one of these things where just knowing someone and realizing that they're always having fun and you having the desire to have more fun in your life is something where it sort of reminds you, it pings you, and you can go like, but I can also choose this. And that was just, I'm not saying that I'm always choosing the fun, and I mean, there's always ways, time for improvement.
Yeah.
But it was just one of these moments where I thought like, oh, I'm going to choose what Susanna does.
Oh my God, yeah. And what you just said about the fun of it and everything, it just popped up. Something that I think Susanna was talking about it in one of her calls, one of the ways of having fun in the midst of insanity. And it is so funny. I don't know if it is the case to talk about it in this episode, but like I just love it.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, there is this insanity, and
Yeah.
I mean, I had another example that occurred to me. About half a year ago or something, we have with the family we have this appointment with a notary, notary, not sure what you call it.
Okay.
So I decide, because it's really nice, whether I decide to cycle to my mum, because it was close to where she lives. I cycle there, I take my clothes with me, so I can freshen up and, get business-like dressed, the drill, because you're going to an official place. So, right. So everything's prepared. I go there. I come to my mum's place, I go have a shower, and part of my hair, which I'd done really nice, was all prepared, but part of it got wet during the shower. So I asked my mum, do you have a brush? And she goes, yeah, sure. And she hands me this really tiny sort of brush. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And I just use it the way I think I can use it. But this brush had a mind of its own. So what happens was, I mean, only this bit of hair was wet. So only this bit of hair was stuck in the brush, but the brush didn't let go. So in the end, time was coming close. We had to go to this appointment. So the brush was still in, and I just left with the brush in my hair, in my head. put a clip on, because otherwise the brush would hang like this in front of my eyes. Just put a clip on it. And I actually walked into this notary's office, smiling, like going like, right, give it to me, babies, give it to me. And I was just having fun, thinking like, I just really wonder what they're going to say. Let's have fun with this.
Wow.
And the interesting thing was, nobody said a word about it. Not one word. And I just walked out again and was like, how is it possible that you don't even mention it? I mean, it blew my mind. But this was just one of these situations where I was like, I know I can get this brush out if I have time, and I'm not gonna go and cut my hair just because I'm in a panic and need to leave. So I just came home with the brush, and I think hour and a half later, and with a lot of patience from my partner, the brush was out. The hair was salvaged.
That is so funny. I mean, you like being able to just walk out at that appointment with that brush in your hair and like, don't giving a fuck, sorry for the word, but like, yes, how much fun can I have with this, This is, this is such a beautiful invitation, like to really stop being with like the, I don't know, maybe problems, some things that may appear like problems or things that could make you feel like embarrassed about, and just to play with them and just transform them in really how much fun can I have. So yeah, this is such an invitation for pragmatic psychology to just expand your life way beyond the insanity and have fun with it. And how can, I mean, if you are having fun with what this reality makes so significant and so real and so like, oh, you can't see, I mean, this is such a problem, and you have fun with it, I mean, you are insane for this. You're a crazy person, but yeah, how much fun can we have with it? And who cares if other people think that you are insane or crazy, as long as you are so much enjoying your life and having fun and expanding and playing.
And the thing is, usually when you have fun, doors open for you.
Yeah.
Way more than if you don't. But
Yeah.
that's my experience.
Yeah, yes, it is. Wow, that was such an amazing chat, Ingrid. I am so grateful, and also the fact that you are an official pragmatic practitioner. And if you'd like to give us your details, maybe if people are interested in taking a session or anything, they can contact you. I can give your details also in the email. So how can they reach you?
Well, the easiest way is probably via Facebook.
Yeah.
Just write me a note, say I'd be interested. Give me more information, and if you require translation, also write it in there, please. You can always write in Italian. That's no problem. I have translation programs for that. And if I think this is weird, I will ask Brenda.
Of course. Oh,
So yeah.
thank you. Thank you so much, Ingrid, for being here on this new adventure on this podcast.
And
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for the invitation. It's
Oh,
fun to talk about pragmatic psychology.
yes, yes, it is definitely. And everyone, we will see you maybe on a pragmatic psychology class. In English or with Italian translation, whatever, we will be there for you. And if you have any questions, please, you can type in the comments when I will upload the video, or you can message me, email me, and yeah, for whatever information you require. Again, thank you so much, Ingrid, and see you very soon.
Ciao!
Ciao a tutti!